seen out of these guys. So we're still learning about a lot of them, and we're still learning about them.
Aaron dumps out to Mixon on the left side, makes the first man miss, second, third, fourth one finally gets him.
Thirsty for Sergi, no hold up, I'm in Versace. I probably pull up Roberto over Cavalli. Puffin' on Cali, probably out in the valley. Sippin' on something drowsy, bitch twerking like Molly. Work, for a real nigga selling work. Promise I won't tell a word.
Welcome to Something Different. I'm your host, Serenity J. Bishop. It's been a while since we did it, but tonight we got a new show for you. I'm with my boy Cam. What's up, Cam?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here.
Cam, of course, you know, because I'm a Bengals fan, he has to be a Steelers fan. So we're going to kick off the show real quick. Leveon Bell, what's going on, man? He rejected the 5-year contract. What's up with Leveon?
Oh, my gosh. I hate it. He's a guy, he doesn't want to show up, working out on his own, but hopefully he's just staying low-key, but hopefully he's coming back right before that last preseason game. I think he's coming back to take the throne after a debut by James Conner yesterday. Need my 26 back, man.
Do you feel like he's like hurting the team a little bit because the team's getting a little sick of answering questions about Leveon? What do you think about that?
I do think he's hurting the team. I don't think it's quite as bad as people let on. I do think that it just helps to get those actual football reps to actually not just a conditioning thing with just the running, but also more so just kind of going through and taking those football hits. Albeit they may be, just wrap up. They were not full contact, but I just feel like he, I don't know. I just would prefer he's in football shape, but I think he'll be okay based on, his position and kind of his familiarity with the offense. So not worried too much, but it would help though.
Mm-hmm. For me, I feel like one, he shouldn't really be holding out because he's Leveon. He's Leveon Bell. Mm-hmm. He's arguably the best running back in the league. He's gonna get paid somehow. So whether that's him leaving free agency or what, it's his choice. He's arguably the best running back in the league. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he should be there in camp because it's kind of, I don't know. It doesn't put like a negative like view onto him, like, oh, this is the type of guy he is, because all players do it. But I just feel like there's really no, you're gonna get paid at the end of the day. And so there's really no reason why you're not there. I mean, you realize your contract is gonna get there. You have to play this season because if you don't, you're getting fined. So it just doesn't make much sense to me at all. Plus,
no. Finish. Just finish real quick. I got a next point. No, finish.
Plus, like for the Steelers, like obviously, me and you talk about this a lot. The Steelers, like Big Ben is up in air for his future. This may be his last year, maybe not. AB, I wouldn't say not the same with him, but you also have to wonder what it's like for AB without the Big Ben, era, because we've seen him play with other quarterbacks. Didn't really work out too well. So I feel like with your top 3 guys that, things are up in the air basically, it's kind of rough for the Steelers right now.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely, but with the addition, hopefully there's some excitement with the addition of Martavis. But to go back to there's one aspect that I see kind of with the kind of why maybe he would hold out, because you remember Devontae Freeman just got paid long term, and I believe he's really worried. He doesn't want to reset the market, and that's kind of, I'm split about it because I want him to get paid, but what he's trying to do is like Joe Flacco did, and if we end up going to the Super Bowl, I'd be all for it, trust me. But he's really trying to cash in and like have a great season and kind of like say I can play 16 games, but like you said, I believe he should be there to take those football hits because he hasn't been the most reliable running back. So
Right,
it's
right.
kind of like that crossroads between the suspension. You have, you know, the suspension. You have the injury history, and then it's, yeah, it's just, and that's why I'm kind of like, I thought he should have signed immediately because I thought it was a fair deal from what came out. But yeah,
Right, right.
that was
Do
pretty
you
much.
think that? Do you think that at the end of the day when he signs, do you think he'll be the highest paid running back?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, because I feel like when he signs, I mean, I'm excited for what he'll do for guys like, you know, David Johnson. Hopefully he signs next offseason if he's eligible before Leveon because, you know, Leveon, he's patient. But I'm excited about where the running backs are going. The
Right, right.
like as far as we got so many guys. I was telling my friend the other day about kind of like, you know, there's the running backs they're back. So it's kind of like I feel like he, and I believe what I saw was he wanted to get paid close to wide receiver money,
Mm-hmm.
which is odd because it's the franchise tag being at 12 million, him wanting I believe around 14 to 15 mil. So I don't know. It's quite interesting. I'm glad the cap's going up though.
Yeah, it's definitely something. It's a long way before they get to that NBA money though.
Oh, they all want it. They all think they're Steph Curry.
So moving on to our actual lineup. Let's talk about something very controversial. Colin Kaepernick. You know, it seems like we're talking more about Kaepernick now than when he was actually taking his you know, his protest.
Yeah.
But what do you just think about the whole Colin Kaepernick situation? Is he being blackmailed? Should he be signed? What do you think?
Well, I think I believe it is blackmail a little bit because I think the guy is supremely talented. Albeit, you know, he's still got his resume speaks. It's a good. It speaks volumes about as far as his experience, and he's a lot better than a lot of number two. So I think it's a combination of that and kind of just opportunity. As far as I think the owners, I'm not sure what they think behind the scenes, but I'm sure that, you know, they pay attention to the media. So maybe I believe it's he's being blackballed by the NFL, but it's just like I don't want to believe that, but it just seems like that because a guy like Jay Cutler who's never even really been to the playoffs and had success really, I mean, talented just as well, but it makes no sense. What do you think?
You know, I had this conversation a lot, and you know, Cat, I love Cat. I feel like you said, his resume speaks for himself. Like he's a starting quarterback in this NFL because
I
of what
agree.
he did. You know, people are trying to sign him for a backup quarterback job, a contract. So I mean, I understand that part. Also, if you go back a couple years and you look at the Tebow situation when Tebow was just this big name player and teams didn't want to sign him because he was too big of a name to be your backup quarterback. It's the same situation with Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
So I feel personally that he's a lot better than probably like half of the starting quarterbacks in this league.
I agree.
And you know, he's been to a Super Bowl. How many quarterbacks can say that? Pretty close to winning one.
Absolutely.
I think with the owners don't want to. For the owners that like him and like what he did, learn about what type of negative impact he will have with their fans bringing him in. So there's that. There's, you know, coaches and stuff that don't like him either. But at the end of the day, it's about winning football games. So you don't want to sign a guy who's going to win you football games. Now, the question that they keep bringing up is, will he actually win games? Because you know, his last couple years with the 49ers hasn't been good. But the one thing with that is you have to realize that after that Super Bowl year that they went and go play the Ravens,
Yep.
The entire team was strict, including the coach, and Colin Kaepernick was the only one there. So, like, no one ever goes that far. None of the owners ever say why he did what he did. None of the fans, like the fans that don't like him, appreciate what he did, whether it was good or bad. So,
Absolutely.
you know, I definitely feel like he's getting blackballed from the league. I do feel that there is a couple teams that actually do want to sign him, but whether that's just to, you know, give him another chance or to, you know, actually improve their football team, I think there's a couple teams that would. Which brings me to my next question: what team do you think he would fit best in?
Right now, right now.
Yeah.
As far as, let me think. I didn't think when they were talking about Baltimore, wasn't a super fan of that because I believe his old offensive coordinator is the old coordinator there. Which I'm kind of. I think they're so decimated. I don't think it's a good opportunity for him to even go in as far as all the Ravens have been. They've been bit, especially their O-line this year. I mean, this offseason, so many injuries. So I thought that would have been the best option, but as far as opportunity wise, but they decided not to go that way. But if I had to think, place where I think it's a solid organization that has the pieces around him where he can kind of rebuild his image. I thought Seattle wasn't bad. If he could just set his ego aside, which I'm sure he's just wants to play. He's Trayvon Boykin, so yeah. Yeah, but the Seahawks are one that I thought was a good one with as far as like a good system and a stable coach and a stable locker room that could invite him in. Oh, I didn't think of it. Maybe Oakland might not be a bad place with Michael Crabtree, and that just came to my head. Michael Crabtree, and I think he's better than maybe Matt McGowan, and definitely Connor Cork. So, those would be my two teams.
I like. I definitely like Seattle, but with Seattle, you know, I don't think he'll ever touch the field in Seattle. Russell Wilson is the guy up there.
Bad man. He's a bad man.
Yeah, I think that locker room would be great. But the team that I really think he would be better in would be Baltimore, actually, because Joe Flacco is, you know, Joe Flacco. He is like, I wouldn't call him he's a very like below in a background of like starting quarterbacks. When you think of starting quarterbacks, the best ones in the league, even like mediocre, you don't really ever think about Joe Flacco, even though he's there. He's won a Super Bowl. You don't really ever think about Joe Flacco. Even when you think about like Baltimore, you don't think about Joe Flacco. You think about, you know, what that defense used to be. That's
right. He's never really.
So
it's sad.
I think Baltimore would be the best fit because I think Colin Kaepernick is better than Joe Flacco. I think.
Oh, that's bold.
I think he is.
Okay.
He's definitely better than Ryan Mallett. Obviously, you can't, you know, bring Colin Kaepernick in because you're paying Joe Flacco so much money. He's getting paid. So there's that. But also, like, off the field, I think Baltimore was a perfect place because, you know, remember just a couple of years ago that Baltimore, you know, they were rioting and stuff when I believe Freddie Gray was shot and killed.
Yes.
Stuff that Colin Kaepernick is talking about. So I believe that Baltimore would be the perfect city for that because, you know, that's all Kaepernick is talking about, and the city is doing that. So I don't know. I think it would be a good marriage. Obviously, the owner It came out that the owner didn't want to sign him. But
beyond football, that's my issue.
Yeah. But Coach Harbaugh, who is his former coach's brother, plus his former OC is there. Ozzie Newsome wants him. Why won't they make this happen? Now, personally, I don't want Kaepernick to come to the AFC North, honestly. But that's just me. But if he would get another shot, I believe the best fate would actually be Baltimore.
Okay. So I like that. You're starting to paint a picture that I see a little bit more clearly. I like that. I like that. Good viewpoints. Good viewpoints on that.
So next topic, we got top rookies. It's preseason, so obviously we haven't seen a lot. Who are some of your top rookies that you watching out for?
I've been watching, man. My team. I'll just say I've been impressed by TJ Watt, his effort, high motor. I've been very impressed with him as far as being a first round selection. But I've been a little bit underwhelmed by Josh Dobbs, who got in the 4th round. Down. But some rookies that have caught my eyes. One is just talk about the two on the Steelers. I really been watching. I've been really liking Mitchell Trubisky. He's really been impressive as far as his. It looks like his command of the offense. I've been watching him. I've been liking that. A lot of these rookie quarterbacks. What else? Let's see. Well, Patrick Mahomes, who the Chiefs. I've been watching him. He's been showing his arm. A good command of the offense also, but never going to start a day this year. He got entrenched behind one of the most. It's so funny, but it stuck behind one of the most conservative. But Patrick Mahomes coming from the air raid, he wants to gunsling it. And then you got a guy, Mr. Checkdown, Mr. Alex Smith, Mr. Tight End, Mr. 15, 20 yards, nothing beyond it. But I've been watching Pat. I've been liking what I saw with him. Deshaun Kaiser was definitely in our division, was impressive as far as showing a good arm. I remember. I think those are third and 17. He really has quite an arm. So if he could tame it, he should be knocking on the door to kind of like get an opportunity. But what about have there been any rookies that you've been caught your eye in?
Deshaun Kaiser was definitely one of them. But I'm gonna go to the other Deshaun Watson down in Houston. I think he's in a really good place. If he could win this quarterback battle with Savage, I think Houston. Well, regardless, I don't think Savage is the long-term solution in Houston. But Deshaun Watson, if he could develop with all their receivers down there and get the offense rolling, I think Houston is actually going to be a team to worry about. Even though they make the playoffs from time to time, but that's it's the JJ Watt show, Davion Clowney. That is the defensive side. I think Deshaun Watson fully puts it together in Houston. Also, I believe that I got two more names. Christian McCaffrey. I think he's going to be a star in this league, especially in Carolina behind Cam. I think he's going to be a star. I loved him in college. I think this year he's going to be the best running back, or second best running back in out of the rookies this year.
Out of the rookies, so including Dalvin, and you're saying Leonard. That's high praise for my man out there in Carolina.
I think he has a better shot because Jonathan Stewart. I don't think he could take as many carries as he used to. Christian McCaffrey is definitely going to, he's going to start in the passing game but as soon as he get his runs, he's gonna take off. I think he'll end the season at probably getting more carries than Jonathan Stewart. Leonard Fournette, he is something, but I think down in Jacksonville is just too much going wrong with the offense, I guess. Like Blake Bortles controls it, but yeah, it's just Jacksonville. You just don't know. I think Dalvin Cook is gonna have a good year, but the best running back that I think, well, probably not at first, but towards the end of the season, the back half of the season, is my guy Joe Mixon. I think he's gonna beat out Jeremy Hill for the starting spot towards the end of the season, and he's gonna take over. He's looked good in preseason. I think he's my guy.
Good. He's that guy. He's got a little bit of everything, and it got good size. He's got a little bit. He's got good speed. I love the way he catches the ball. He's very physical going between the tackles, and he's sometimes a little patient setting up his blocks, man. I was actually rooting for him to actually kind of just him and Gio, but I don't know. How would you want your man Jeremy Hill out of there? Trade? Would you want to trade? I know it's his last year. What thoughts? Do you think he can help at this
Jeremy
point?
Hill. Look, I love Jeremy Hill. I do. I think people get confused on the fact of what Jeremy Hill does, and I think Jeremy Hill kind of gets confused on what he does. Throughout his entire career, he's only had 2 1,000-yard seasons. His rookie year in the league, and his I believe his sophomore year at LSU. Other than that, though, every single year he's had double-digit touchdowns. He's a power guy, goal line situation, giving the rock, getting in the end zone.
Okay.
That's what he does. But the thing with Jeremy Hill is you can't have a guy like that only plays goal line and is now your third string running back. He needs to play special teams. You can't put Jeremy Hill on special teams.
Nope.
So there's that. I'm not rooting for a trade right now. I think if Joe Mixon takes off, he's done in Cincinnati. Jeremy Hill. But if Joe Mixon shows what he's got early in the season, before the trade deadline, I think Jeremy Hill is out of it. That's my guy. I love all the touchdowns that he does. He's a great player in Cincinnati.
Yep.
But I think we're asking him to do something that he doesn't do. He's not that 1,000-yard rusher. He's a double-digit touchdown guy. That's what he does. So, I mean, if there's a situation where we can have all 3 running backs, all 3 of them do what they're supposed to do, maybe that means Joe Mixon starts, Giovanni on third downs, goal line situations as Jeremy Hill.
Okay.
Do that, but I don't know. I mean, it's a good problem to have, though. Cincinnati is good in the running game. It's a good problem to have. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. 3-headed monster. We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited. I love these running backs, man. That's my
yeah. Running backs is definitely coming back. Definitely.
They coming back, man.
So let's talk about this the Bills, Rams, and Eagles trade. So for the fans who, maybe been living under the rock or something, the Bills traded Sammy Watkins to the Rams, and in exchange they got cornerback EJ Gaines and a second rounder. They also sent a 6th rounder to the Rams. And the Bills traded cornerback Ronald Darby to the Eagles for receiver Jordan Matthews and a 3rd rounder.
We don't see them trades often.
Not at all. So let's talk about the Bills Rams trade first.
Okay.
What do you think about the Sammy Watkins Rams deal?
So the Bills. So I'm intrigued to see where he fits this late in training camp, what he can do. I think sometimes the change of scenery helps. So I'm just thinking that, hopefully it would be perfect, a perfect marriage as far as a guy that's been around but just couldn't be around on the field because he's been injured with a very high potential and could still fulfill his first round destiny. So I will give it the trade for Sammy Watkins to there. I'd say a solid C plus. I would need to just see because all potential what they're banking on.
Right.
And that's kind of like, and that was kind of my issue. And then the corner EJ Gaines, I'm not sure if that's the guy that was hurt last year, but do you know what kind of a year he had and what kind of corner he is?
EJ Gaines, he's a solid corner.
Okay.
I believe he was in a rotation when what's his name? Janoris Jenkins was with the Rams, and when they had that secondary. I believe he was the third corner, so he's a solid corner.
Okay. I guess that's solid on the Bills end, but it's again you're paying for a solid corner, but again I was baffled by you maybe giving away Ronald Darby, but that's that all. What are your thoughts on the trade between just the Rams and the Bills? Because I wasn't a fan of it. I thought it was.
I think when you solely look at the Bills-Rams trade, I think the Rams won because Sammy Watkins, he needed to change the scenery. I don't think he was working out with the Bills, but that's not to say that he wasn't productive with the Bills because he had productive years. He had a 1,000-yard season his second year in the league, and he just missed it his rookie year. So he does have injury issues. So that's something to watch out for. But when you take him and then put him in the Rams offense, and you have Ty Gurley, you have the new rookie quarterback Jared Goff, you got Sammy Watkins is still young, and you also have Tavon Austin.
Absolutely.
I believe Robert Woods is there too. So you're putting together pieces for your rookie quarterback, and they're not bad pieces. Even if he's not, even if he doesn't live up to the hype of what he was supposed to be, he can still be very good. That's the same thing that happened with Reggie Bush. He was supposed to be the running back of the century, and
expectations. Jeez.
Yeah. So he didn't live up to that. But when you look at Reggie Bush's career, you can look and you say, wow, that's a really good career that he had. So same thing can happen with Sammy Watkins, and I think the Rams, when you look at what they're putting together,
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. They've actually a good thing today came up. Cooper Kupp seems it's got some praise from Tremaine Johnson, their franchise corner. So get a little bit of a hype behind him, and then like you said, Robert Woods, who's could help accelerate Sammy Watkins' learning of the offense because he's been there all off season. So I didn't think of that. So that could help in the familiarity with him. I mean, they worked together for a couple of years, so didn't think about that from that perspective. But yeah, high potential, low risk for sure.
Right.
With the trade because he's still first round, and I love seeing that guy fly down the field for sure.
On the other side of the on the trade, Bills Eagles. What did you think about that one?
Bills Eagles, man. I thought the Eagles really got the better of the trade, man. I've always kind of liked him since Florida State. Ronald Darby, real chippy, really gets good pass breakups. Not too many interceptions in his career, I believe 2 or 3, but always liked him as it's going to be a new role for him because I think he may, for the Eagles, be their starting corner, which is he was usually the second corner opposite like Stephon Gilmore, but he showed a really good presence from the first preseason game. So he looked real twitchy when he caught his interception. So I was really impressed by what I saw picking off his old quarterback Tyrod Taylor, and they're running around, man, looking good, man. And then I thought, and on the other side of it, I just think that Jordan Matthews, who I believe I didn't know what the Eagles would do. I like Jordan Matthews, but I believed, and I was saying this during the draft, that especially when they took him, that Matt Collins kind of looked a little bit like Jordan Matthews, and he kind of showed that a little bit. He's a little bit faster when he in the preseason game versus the Packers. He had a good, nice touchdown, real physical touchdown, stiff arming and getting in the end zone. And so I thought that it was a great trade by the Eagles because they had the depth, and finally it seemed like Nelson Aguilar was turning the corner, and he's a first rounder. So I just feel like you need to get that guy on the field and get a full evaluation for him before you want to re-sign him. And because you're more invested. So because they need to get invested on one of the first round picks, because Marcus Smith was an absolute bust. He came, I believe, the year before Nelson, if I believe, or after. But I just want to see the Eagles. I just want to see big plays, and I thought that Jordan Matthews could have been more valued there. So I think the Eagles won, but I could see the Bills kind of like scrapping for a receiver. But what do you think on that trade? What thoughts and opinions?
The Eagles definitely, as of right now, Eagles they won the trade, I think, as of right now, because Ronald Darby, he's a very, very solid corner. They needed help on that end of the field. But with that, you have to wonder if Ronald Darby will be Ronald Darby that we know in Philly, because we've seen corners go there in Philly and they have a great year before. They played great a couple years before, then they end up in Philly, and it's just gone.
Can't find themselves.
Yeah, so we'll see with that. But on the other side of the Bills getting Jordan Matthews, honestly, at the looking at both trades, I think what their thought process is that they're getting less, but they're getting more. Now, what I mean by that is,
break it down.
They got players that weren't as good as the players that you traded back. EJ Gaines is not as good as Ronald Darby. Jordan Matthews isn't good as Sammy Watkins. But they also got a second and third round pick with those. Now they have 2 picks in each of the first 3 rounds in next year's draft.
Interesting. Yes.
So who knows what those picks could be. But I mean, having 6 picks in the top 100, basically, you're gonna get at least one player who can do something. I don't think you can mess up 6 picks and get nothing.
Hey, I look at the Browns sometimes.
It's definitely possible. I don't think
it's possible, but
I don't think they'll do that. But I think overall, all of the teams got something that they needed. The Bills probably, if it goes their way, we might be saying the Bills win both of these trades later on. But it's just the level of the players that they traded away and the levels of the players that they got that we said other teams won. But the Bills could be something. They got to figure out the Tyrod Taylor situation. I love Tyrod Taylor. I think he could play. I don't think he's good in Buffalo. I think he needs to go somewhere else. He's a starting level quarterback. But who knows? I mean,
they don't give this guy. My thing is, like you said, I don't agree that Buffalo is the right place too. You see the new GM. Has a different philosophy of building. He's wants to say like all people win now. But he's kind of like saying, okay, he's casting off some of the older picks, so he's not afraid to move you, which is interesting. But it's kind of like it's that crossroads because Tyrod Taylor, I like him because he protects he can throw the ball with the best of them, and he doesn't have a ton of turnovers. He's not ability, and I just think that when you take away some when you give someone they don't have a true amount of weapons, where I don't think you can get a full evaluation of him. I don't know though. It's tricky with that. I just don't think that it's the right place because of constant management changing and the constant recommitment. Like I'm not sure how committed Sean McDermott is, and the new GM who just is really just kind of stockpiling for the future. So I don't know if that's the place for him and where his mindset is.
I think for Tyra Taylor, I think they're just buying time, honestly. I don't think they want him in Buffalo. But then you got to ask yourself, well, we don't have Tyra Taylor, who's better? I mean, Cat may be better, but you're not going to bring Cat. So, and
that's what I think, leverage. It's just like, who is their backup? And he's definitely going in that division, which I despise because it's such a given for Tom Brady to get at least 12 wins and get the first or second seed, because that's all you need.
Right.
It's it's not as competitive as the NFC. So I think that you definitely. So I'm okay with Tyrod Taylor, but I am really hoping that he has a good year and finds a home elsewhere where he can establish himself. But
right. So moving on, we got Ezekiel Elliot was suspended for 6 games for domestic violence. The NFL has a real big problem with domestic violence. The United States of America has a problem with domestic violence. It's, I guess it's part of the culture or something, but there's an issue. What do you feel? How do you feel about the NFL's discipline on Zeke?
I think that I've been watching it from afar and kind of been thinking that it's very prolonged. It seems like their investigations take years, and it seems like everything just drags on. It just seems his team seems like they're confident, though. Is what I'm seeing. That the charges aren't, or the accusations aren't real. But to follow that up with, I just want to I would like him to win this appeal, because not many appeals win. There's always a loophole for appeals getting them never going through. But I think if he could stick it to Roger Goodell, I'd be all for it. As far as showing the man, how faulty the investigation system is, and how the CBA period. I mean, I think our guys are prepared to sit out for the next one, as far as to change some things up, because I think that the system is truly flawed, and and at the last point, I constantly see they come at my guy James Harrison. It's kind of I think they poke around. They just don't like guys, and they watch them on social media and target guys, and they just harass them, with drug tests, or whether it be. You saw what kind of happened to Lucky Whitehead. Just kind of, I don't know.
Right.
So I have an issue with that. But tell me your thoughts on the Ezekiel Elliott investigation.
For Zeke, I don't. Here's the thing: if he did it, I wouldn't have an issue with a 6-game suspension. My issue comes along with the fact that the police dropped the charges. There was no charges against him, and he was still suspended for 6 games. Now, I take that and I see what happened to Lucky Whitehead. He was released. It wasn't him. They didn't even go back and re-sign him. What was Jason Garrett saying? We made a decision and
already, regardless of if the guys.
Right. So I see that. Then I see you want to go back, and I'm not making fun of Cowboys fans. It's just Cowboys players. But then you go and see Greg.
They're a whole other piece.
Then you go and see Greg Hardy, and you see how the league dealt with that. You know, this is someone who you've seen the evidence of domestic violence. You've seen it, and he got suspended for 2 games. Now, given he's not in the league anymore, but he was still re-signed. He got he got another chance after he did that. He was only suspended for 2 games. Zeke, no evidence, charges dropped, 6-game suspension. So how are you? What's the process of suspensions? Because I was talking to my brother, and it's like they pick it, like you said, they pick and choose of, you know, like, let me pick out a hat. You did this. All right, 4 games. But then the next guy gets 1, or the next guy gets 10, or the next guy gets a full year. I don't understand it. There's seriously a problem with it. And, you know, whether, you know, Zeke wins the appeal or not, it's gonna hurt the Cowboys in some sense, because we've seen what's happening with Cat. Now your star running back, who every Cowboy fan loved or loved last year, now he has that stigma hanging with him that, oh, he was, you know, arrested for domestic violence. You just lost some fans. So, and that's not even talking on the football field. I think on the football field, it's seriously going to hurt them if he's out for 6 games.
Oh yeah,
Dak is, you know, very good quarterback, very good. I think he has a long future, but if you're, I don't think you could win on Dak's arm. I don't think you're going to go in on a shootout and win.
It's not his game. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, but at the other end, you still have Alfred Morris, pretty 1,000-yard runner with the Redskins.
Right.
He's just sitting there. I believe they still have Darren McFadden.
Yep, I think they do too.
So, you know, you have running backs. They're not Zeke, but they could get the job done. Who knows what type of impact they'll have, though.
I agree. They always say that you could put anybody on that Dallas Cowboy O-line and get 1,000 yards. But like I think that Ezekiel is truly special, especially as far as it's just different when he runs the ball. He sets a tone. Like it's I think the Cowboys really have an interesting. They always have an interesting offseason. Seems like the guys are always getting suspended for either weed or PDs or it's always something. Just like they call it America's team. There's America's most dramatic team.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on to our last topic, we're gonna talk about surprise teams.
I like this.
Who is your number 1 surprise team for this year?
Surprise team. Well, okay. I'm going to say I might not surprise people, but I've been paying attention to this division because they've been the division has quite been on not as much of a joke as they used to be. Surprise team, but I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh.
You know, I like what they're doing down there, down in the Motown and the music, and I really like what they got going. I like. I think they're on the rise, man. I think that running game is something to men. Something to worry about. I think good efficient quarterback play. Like kind of like you know those game managers, but they're still starters like the Dak Prescott, you know, Alex Smiths of the world, guys that can Alex Smith, if he had a little bit, he's good with the arm is don't get me started with that, but I really like Marcus Mariota. I like who they drafted last year to solidify that line. I like their 2-headed power back monsters. I really like what they got going down there. Yeah, and the defense is on the rise. You got Logan Ryan from the Patriots. I think. What else? I think got just a solid group. I think they good ball control. I like the good ball control type offense. But that's my pick. Where's your pick, man? To let me know. Let me look. I'm curious to hear what you got, man. I really. What's the sleeper, man? Who am I sleeping on?
You know what? I was actually gonna say Tennessee too. I'll tell you another one that I got, but real quick on Tennessee. Like you said, I love what Tennessee is doing. I think that hopefully I'm trying to actually go to the Bengals Tennessee game November 12th down in Nashville. Hopefully I can get down there.
Hey,
but I love Marcus Mariota. I'm a Marcus Mariota guy. I always have been. I think he's a really good quarterback. We don't hear as much as we should, but that's because they're playing in Tennessee. That two-headed running back running game is ridiculous. Derrick Henry, DeMarco Murray, crazy. But the one key pickup that I think they had that's going to make them even better this year is Eric Decker from the Jets. Eric Decker,
good things.
Very, very solid receiver. He could be a number one. We've seen him do that with the Jets. He's a great number two. Yep. We've seen that his entire career. Yep. I really like that. He's a guy who could get up there, go get the ball.
Physical.
I really like that. You really give Marcus Mariota a player who could be a number one receiver if needed.
Yeah.
Which I believe all quarterbacks need a true number one. So I love Tennessee, but let me think. My other
give me an NFC team. Yeah, it could be an NFC team, and I because I got one on top of my head too, man. We got AFC, we got NFC.
Well, you go first. Let me think. You go first.
Dude, see, so I'm always thinking. I was thinking because I was just thinking Tampa Bay might make a run. But like that division's so crowded with Drew, never can count Drew Brees out in the crew. And Carolina, they always like they did. They just can go on a run. But I think it'd be a stretch to say that they'll win the division. But I never know. But I say Tampa Bay and then Atlanta, who just won. So it's kind of like so I'm still in Tampa Bay because I'm hoping Jameis takes another step with solid everywhere. I really liked how they drafted, to what they did in free agency, to I like solidifying a lot of areas. I really like the middle linebacker, Quan Alexander, and I really like what they're doing with those corners. And hopefully Vernon Hargreaves takes that next step. But I think they're a team on the rise. And Mike Evans, I really like him. I don't know if you've been watching the Hard Knocks, but he's just getting up close and person feel for the guy. That guy is a beast. So that'll be my team. What about you?
I think now I have to say this is right off the top. I think Miami is definitely on the rise. They made the playoffs last year. I think the key to that was Jay Ajayi. He's the truth. That boy is real. I always said that from the moment they started, that they drafted him, that he should have been the starter. He had 2 back-to-back 200-yard performances. I believe one of those was against your Steelers.
Yes, it was. Saw it up and close. It was his coming out party for the year, definitely.
The only thing with the Dolphins, though, is they have to solidify their defense as well as their quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is hurt right now. They picked up Jay Cutler. My thing was, why would you pick up Jay Cutler and you had Cap there? But obviously, there's those reasons. Yeah. So once they figure that out, though, I think Miami will be, something to not take lightly. I think Cameron Wake, Ndamukong Suh, they're leading that defense. They're good, but also in the NFC, this team, I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, but the New York Giants. They made the playoffs last year, but you know they didn't show up. Odell or Eli showed up. A lot of people blame Odell for dropping the passes.
He ain't perfect, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't great passes from Eli either. So but
absolutely.
I really like the Giants. Now my brother, my oldest brother, he's a Giants fan, and once he hears this, he's gonna be telling me, he's gonna be talking all that stuff about I told you so. But when you look at it, when you look at it, the Giants, they actually have something. That receiving core is crazy. Brandon Marshall, #1 receiver. Odell Beckham, ridiculous. Who's the other one? The rookie last year. I'm forgetting his name.
You got Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard. He can ball.
He can ball.
I think the defense is coming together. Defense played big last year. The one thing I think they're missing though is a running back. I've been saying that for a long time.
Just gonna say that. What do you think on that?
Well, honestly, depending on what happened with Joe Mixon, they could call Cincinnati for Jeremy Hill.
I think send them to New York, man. They need. I could definitely. I could see where he fits as far as in that division. Because I really like Paul Perkins, but they have no one that's proven. They for a while they haven't had a guy, and the guys that remember they haven't really had the guy. And I think the last guy they drafted high, David. What was his name? He hurt his neck, but he was drafted in the first round.
His name is
he was fast too. Yeah, but they got him, and I thought they wanted him to be the guy. But yeah, I'm like, hey, if you think Cincinnati take him a call, tell him the phone. Is the phone open for the trade? You be okay with it if the compensation's right?
They're gonna have to give us something because Jeremy Hill, that's our guy. So
it's a touchdown.
I don't know what it would take, but Jeremy Hill, it would take something to get Jeremy Hill. At least a second or third round pick.
Okay.
But also they could also call up Jacksonville and try to get Chris Ivory. Now, Chris Ivory, he disappeared once he went to Jacksonville, but remember his time with the Jets, he was ridiculous. I think Chris. I think that Jacksonville is just is a hard organization to be in right now. That's why I don't think he ever got a full chance to really be the guy he was with the Jets and Jacksonville, and he's definitely not going to get that chance now with Leonard Fournette there. So hey, there you go, Giants, call him up. You could get Chris Ivory cheap too. I mean, he has a big contract, but you could probably get him for a low level pick.
Absolutely, and just like that.
So that's all we got today. How'd you enjoy your first show?
Oh man, I enjoyed it. Always love talking football, man. It was I'm glad we talked about what we talked about, man. It's been burning in my stomach for a while. All that's going on as football warms itself up, man.
Right.
We here, man. We almost here. So definitely have fun, man. Enjoy the time, and hopefully, the listeners enjoy it too, man. Definitely.
Right. All right. So thank you everybody for watching. Once again, I'm Serenity. That's my boy Cam.
Hey.
See you later.
Fun. All right.
They all go yard too, cause I ain't cheap. Finally.